Hi everyone, it's Mari here for Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to be creating this card for you today using the gorgeous Sweet Songs stamp set and coordinating die. This is a brand new set from the Celebration release. It is absolutely adorable. I think it's super unique and I had so much fun creating with it. I love all of these sweet little bird images. I love the music note staff and the little music note impression there that you can stamp separately or over top of each other. The little blooms that are included, and a ton of really great sentiments, and of course all of the coordinating dies, including for the sentiments as well. Now I'm going to start off here with my MISTI. I've got some of the images from the stamp set in the MISTI. I'm going to ink these up with some alcohol-friendly ink, and because I am going to color these different images with my Copics, I'm just going to go ahead then and stamp these out onto some white cardstock, and then I will get to coloring these images. So I'll just give this a press, and those will be all ready to go. So I am going to be using blues, oranges, pinks, and greens today, and I will show or list in the description box below the colors of Copics that I did use to color. I am starting off here with a lighter blue for all of the birds. I'm going in with the lightest color of blue and coloring the entire bird. Then I'll go in with the darker color and lay in some of the shadows. And I'm just going in and adding those shadows in where the lines are drawn in the artwork, and then a little bit along the bottom edge of the face of the little bird. Then I'll go in again with another dark shade. This is the darkest shade, I believe. And I'm going in here just to add a little, just to darken up those shadows a little bit. Then I'll go over the different areas here again with the lightest color and just blend out the shadows and the lights to create just a really, really easy blend. Just a little bit of orange for the beak, and I did use that same technique for all four of the little birds. I'm going to do a combination of pinks and oranges for the flowers. So I'm starting off here with the pink bouquet, just going in again with the lightest color of pink, and well, I guess these are our colors, so typically reds, but they're actually kind of like corally reds that I'm using here. And just laying in some of the shadow again, and then I'll just go back with a darker color as well. So trying to use 3 different shades of each of the colors just to create some depth and dimension and interest with my coloring, adding just a little bit of the darker color here and there. And now I'll go in with my greens and just add the lightest green to the entire leaf first, and then go in with a darker green for a little bit of shadow. And I think I only use 2 different colors of greens on each of the leaves. The artwork here is really, really super easy to color, and they're small images so that it doesn't take very long to color these up at all. So I'm starting off here with my oranges again with the lightest, then I'll go in with a darker color and add some shading and add a darker, deeper color as well for some darker tones. And just adding that depth and dimension in with those blooms. And then I'll go in with those 2 green colors to add the green. And that's almost finished up, and that will conclude all of the coloring that I do for these different little images here. I am going to use the coordinating dies from the Sweet Songs die set, and I will go in and just use, of course, the coordinating dies taped down here through my die cutting machine to die cut out all of these different little bits for the embellishments for my card today. I'm going to stamp out the staff for the music notes here, and I'm going to stamp that out with a slow drying ink. I am going to heat emboss this. I'm going to add the music notes over top and stamp that out again with that slow drying black ink. And I'll cover all of this with some clear embossing powder, and just to create that little bit of shine and a little bit more dimension on the project by doing that clear embossing over top of this black ink. So I'll just go ahead now and add that clear embossing powder. I do have a little bit of photocopy paper underneath there just to catch the excess powder as it's falling off there. I'll just grab my heat tool and give this a really quick melt so that it melts all of that clear embossing powder. And now that's just going to be perfect for die cutting out one of these focal images for my project. So I'll go ahead and use my tape there to hold that in place and die cut that. Now this is the Soiree 3D embossing folder. It's large enough for a 5x7. I did trim mine down for an A2 size card, but you can see that you've got all of that real estate there for creating a 5x7 if you choose. This is a Lisa Horton interference ink. The reason why I'm choosing this ink is because it's very shimmery and pretty. I don't know if you'll really be able to see that in the video, but it does have a really pretty sheen to it. You could actually use any inks that you have in your collection to do this, but I'm just using a flat foam on my ink blending tool here, and that flat foam is going to just add ink to the raised areas on this embossed paper. And so this is just going to add just a kind of a pretty little bit of color in the background for my project. I wanted to coordinate this with the colors that I had used for some of the florals. I think it does look really pretty in the background, and then of course you still do have lots of the white that's showing on this embossed piece. I'm going to pop up these this die cut piece here with a staff on using some foam adhesive here. I'll just go ahead and take the release paper off those pieces and then add that onto that focal point area in the center of the embossed paper. And I'll just go ahead and finish that up and get this laid down just in that center spot. I'm not really sure if you can tell on the video or not, but the clear embossing over that black ink does look really nice and striking. It does make the black really pop. Now, this is kind of the layout that I'm going to go for with the embellishments, the little florals and the birds. So sweet. I love that this set has so many different stamped images so that you could create lots of different little scenes with these different pieces. I'm going to pop up some of these layers with some foam adhesive just to create that dimension and layering effect. Some of the florals will just be laid flat to the embossed piece, I should say the embossing folder background piece, and just glued on. And I'll show you that when I'm ready to go ahead and adhere those down. But right now I'm just adding these sweet little birdies all with a little bit of foam, and just kind of zhuzhing them to make sure I have them where I want them. And I am using thinner foam squares for that, just so that they're not two-dimensional. And here you can just see I'm just going to go in with some liquid adhesive and adhere two of these little floral bouquets down with some liquid adhesive flat to that embossed background. Just taking a little bit of white paint here, and I'm going to splatter that onto my project. Just like that look. I think it just looks really interesting. It adds just that little bit of extra little bit of detail to the project, and I am a little bit of a fan of splattering on my projects. So just going to go ahead and finish that up. I don't want any big blobs. I'm really trying to go for a really fine splatter here. And so I am using a really, really fine brush for this process. And I have watered my paint down quite a bit here, and just to make sure that I don't get larger gobs of paint. So I'm just going to finish that up. And I will let this dry before I go on to the next step, which is to add some stickles. This is Stardust stickles that I'm using here. And I actually end up putting this in a variety of different spots around the card just to add that little bit of extra sparkle and shine. I love how this particular color of stickles really picks up the light. And you may not really notice this on the video, but in real life, it does look really pretty. And I'm also going to add a little bit of clear overlay pen. This is Spectrum Noir clear overlay sparkle pen. And I'm just adding that just here and there on those sweet little birds, just to create a little bit of sparkle and shine. Again here, just going in with the stickles and adding some to the staff and a little bit more to the birds until I'm happy with the amount of sparkle on this card. There is quite a bit of sparkle. I actually didn't show this on camera, but I did add my card front onto my card base with some foam adhesive. Here's a sentiment here that I'm going to be using from the Blessings of Spring sentiment set. This is a really great set. I love the combination of the typed and script font. I think this is beautiful, and I really love the sentiment, which says, "Wishing you all the beautiful blessings of spring." I think that is just a really lovely sentiment for sure. And I like how it paired with this particular stamp set and the images that are part of the Sweet Song set. I'm going to add a little bit of foam adhesive onto the back of that sentiment strip, and I will add that again to the card up in the sort of top right area there, and that is going to finish off my card today. Friends, I did link up in the description box below to all of the different products that I've used from the Honeybee shop, so make sure you check those out. If you have not subscribed to the Honeybee channel or to my channel, please make sure that you do so, and give this video a thumbs up if you like today's project. I will see you again next Friday, friends. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.